August 28, 2017 by Hilary White. The Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen hookup was inevitable. Over the course of nearly all of Season 7, we watched as the two formed a real relationship, and we crossed our fingers that something would come of the undeniable sexual tension you could cut with a knife. So naturally, despite that teensy little issue of them being related, fans were more than a little excited about Jon and Dany's highly anticipated sex scene in the Season 7 finale. Tyrion, on the other hand, appears to be anything but pleased at the turn of events. While he lurks awkwardly in the background as the auntie and nephew do the deed, he looks noticeably upset. As I watched his reaction, I couldn't help but be a bit baffled. Tyrion is one of my favorite characters and one of the few people in the Seven Kingdoms whose judgment I actually wholeheartedly trust, so his unease makes me anxious. Why is he so concerned? Many people jumped to the conclusion that Tyrion is unhappy about the relationship because he is actually in love with Daenerys. The thought never even crossed my mind, and I think it's completely untrue. Tyrion is thinking strategically, not romantically. At this point, Tyrion has betrayed his family and his name and has traveled across oceans because he believes in a better world. He understands that Daenerys Targaryen has the ability to turn the idea of that world into reality. His motivations are not self-serving, but rather they are informed by his own experiences and knowledge of the world and the ways of Westeros. Tyrion's role as Dany's advisor has been a father-like figure and friend, with no insinuations of romantic feelings on either of their parts. In fact, the two even joke about the Queen's suitors together. It's almost implausible that literally every single man who meets Daenerys forgets who they are and where they come from as they fall to their knees in awe of her. She's great, but no one is that great. So why is Tyrion worried? Well, he's got his eye on a way bigger prize than Daenerys' love, and he knows that a romantic relationship between Jon and Dany could derail everyone's carefully laid plans, and could have some pretty serious consequences. Here's what Tyrion could be thinking. He's worried the relationship will impair their judgments. In The Dragon and the Wolf, Jon nearly ruins the entire meeting at King's Landing, all because he impulsively blurts out that they can't bend the knee to Cersei since he's already done so for Daenerys. This revelation leads to heightened distrust and tension. The more immediate problem is that we're FCKED, Tyrion says in summary. Tyrion also advised Daenerys to stay in Dragonstone and not follow Jon to the Wall to save the group, but she did anyway. Now we have a Dragon White to contend with as a result. Imagine a future where post-sex Dany and Jon begin to lose sight of the bigger picture because they allow their feelings for one another to cloud their judgment. Because of their positions of power, the effects of such decisions and oversights could lead to mistakes that cost countless people their lives. It makes sense that Tyrion, who is a strategist and thinker, foresees these potential problems arising and is understandably worried, hence his reaction. He doesn't want a monarchy. Another believable theory is that Tyrion fears what will happen if Daenerys gets pregnant with Jon's baby. In that case, it would be more likely that the world Tyrion envisions and hopes for, one without a monarchy, would be threatened. Tyrion is worried Dany will get pregnant, says Reddit user WesDog1241. Tyrion has never been a fan of monarchy as monarchies are extremely prone to corruption. He suggested the idea of a democracy. His whole reason for supporting Dany is he wants to help make the world a better place, like he said to Cersei. So Dany getting pregnant would give her more incentive to continue a monarchy. The idea of breaking the wheel involves changing the entire structure of rule, but if Daenerys and Jon were to have a baby together, the likelihood that an iteration of the existing monarchy could continue increases, and the rule could pass down to their future child. Both Jon and Dany, in their own ways, were chosen by the people that serve them, something the show has made a point to emphasize. Passing down rule would then potentially cause them to revert back to a less democratic system, which defeats Tyrion's purpose in advising Dany to begin with. He made a deal with Cersei. This theory is a little more far-fetched, but still possible. What if, when Tyrion goes to speak privately with Cersei in the Season 7 finale, he makes some sort of deal with her in regards to her pregnancy? In what could have been an off-camera conversation, Tyrion might have given Cersei an offer she couldn't refuse, or at least one she could pretend to accept. In order to get to her join her forces with Es, it's possible that Tyrion makes a promise ensuring that Cersei's child will be the heir to the throne after Daenerys, since Dany has reiterated time and again that she can't have children, a fact that remains to be confirmed, since she was told by a pretty unreliable source. This would mean that Cersei, who from day one has only cared about her family, particularly her children, would be expecting, based on Tyrion's hypothetical vow, that her line would resume its reign after Daenerys. The bottom line: Tyrion is thinking strategically, not romantically. He hasn't come this far to see that wheel patched up and back to the way it has always been. He wants that wheel broken and destroyed. He sees the potential results of Jon and Daenerys' actions and knows that not all of the scenarios are good ones. Plus, love triangles. Game of Thrones may be a lot of things, but I sincerely hope they are above trying out that overplayed trope. You have theories, so don't miss a moment with Game of Thrones updates. By signing up, I agree to the terms and to receive emails from Pop Sugar. You're all signed up. Check out other Pop Sugar newsletters. Page 2.